Ian for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by.
Hey, I'm Jukka from Omnium Gatherum. Nice to be here.
Great to be chatting today. My Pain was released like very recently. You've had some really good responses to that. How pleased
Mhm.
are you with this? And can we expect more from the new album?
Oh, actually, we are really, really pleased. It was the second single to be released from the album. The first one is The Last Hero, and now it was time for My Pain. And well, I am really excited because we are kind of going back to our roots with this album in a sense, but it's new OG music, obviously, but still it's super straightforward and melodic. That kind of music OG, in my opinion, should be like, we experienced a little bit with the origin album, but this one is it's becoming one of my favorites. And actually, the next single we're gonna release pretty soon is can't talk much about it yet, but it'll be soon, and it will still also be a really straightforward song. So really, really excited.
Kick ass, man. I mean, I saw some responses on the YouTube feed saying like it that some of the older bands are continuing to release amazing albums, and it's so true. Like yourselves and Testament have just released another song, and it just seems to be stronger and stronger the older the
Mhm.
metal bands get. Yeah, it's so good. You put down to the amazing metal bands from Finland. I mean, there's just so many, isn't there?
Oh yeah, yeah, that is true. Like, I don't really know what it is, but there's a lot of good metal bands coming from UK as well. Obviously, all the classic ones, starting from Judas Priest and stuff like that, and
Mm.
also in Sweden. But fairly, I would say we really, really like to play metal, and we like to do it wholeheartedly in that sense that we take it seriously, but not too seriously.
Yeah, like Mr. Lordy, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true, true.
All
He's
right.
been really active. I have to respect, like, after the Eurovision, like 19 years ago, he's been like just going on and continued his career, despite of the fact that at some point there could be like the momentum was not there, but still he just pressed on, which is, I think it's great.
Totally. Anyway, sorry, back to your album, which is coming out soon. May the Bridges We Burn Light the Way. Why did you choose that for a title?
Well, actually, this was the very, very first time Marcus came up with the title. We actually saw it in a shirt like um, last year. We were in touring China, and in some city, in some railway station, we saw this guy who had a similar kind of text in his shirt, and he was
Right.
like to me, like, "Hey, Jukka, did you see that shirt?" I certainly did, and that would be a cool something like that would be a cool album name. And I was like, "Yeah." And this is the very first time that he has come up with them. He's actually the founder of the band back in 1996 or 7, if I remember correctly, and he hasn't named an album yet. So this is the 10th one, and I think it was about time.
Yeah, it's
But
cool.
basically, that's the story about behind the title of the album.
Cool. So, what themes or emotions are you challenging through this new release? And should fans brace themselves for this one?
Right. Well, it's kind of like a theme album for the first time. It's the streets are the basically the place of happening of these different stories on this album. But still, it's also a metaphor for like human beings' own battle in the streets, like in here and in here.
Mhm.
So there's a variety of emotions, but I think like raw, more like primordial emotions are at hand at the moment. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying that in a negative sense, because basically emotions are emotions, and people choose what they do with them. So
Totally. So your sound, it does like it walks a razor's edge between raw aggression and melodic like finesse. So what's the
mhm.
dynamic when you're writing? I mean, do you all sit in the room together, or is it yourself that's coming up with the lyrics? I mean, how does it work out?
I usually have a lot of lyrics. I write them down whenever I get the inspiration. I take my phone and I write a phrase down or a word down or something like that, and I have a lot of those. Usually, it starts with me sending Marcus some lyrics or Marcus sending some early demos to me, and then the collaboration begins with that. Basically, it's yeah, that's how it goes. There's nothing mystical or fancy or anything like that in that. It is just inspired work, let's say it like that. And of course, then we start to play when they go further the songs and the demos get better and we have full songs, then we start to play them with the whole band little by little. Not necessarily like all the time. It can be like, we play here and then we have a longer break and then we play here. We used to go to this one cabin in the woods to play like a couple of days, like a long weekend and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which was also great because you can really get the atmosphere, especially when you're like in the fall, autumn time. So it's dark and it's a really special and nice atmosphere to play some metal music. And when you're in that kind of a environment, so there's no neighbors and stuff, you can blast your metal through the whole night and nobody cares.
Of course. Yeah, man. Amazing. So thinking then back to your debut with the band, Stuck Here on Stakes Way, would you say then that this album, when it gets released, everyone says it, but would you say this is your strongest album with them and indeed the band's strongest album to date?
This new one, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we have made some really strong albums, like in my opinion, in the past, but I kind of want to look forward, and the progression is forward. So, oh, you have a cat there.
Yeah, this is Tabitha. She always makes an appearance.
That's cool. Cool. Yeah, we have one too. One too, but he's in the sauna now, sleeping. So
chilling in the sauna. You'd love a sauna, wouldn't you, Tabs? Yeah, she's a little star. Oh, yeah.
Cool. Good guy. But yeah, the progression is usually or always forward in that sense that we aspire to make better and better albums. Okay, in my opinion, it can be that, but I cannot say from anyone else's point of view. But we strive to make better albums, and I think we have once again succeeded to top what we offered people in Origin.
Cool. So since you've been with the band, I mean, obviously you were a lot younger. I mean, I was a lot younger once, and we've all done the drinking and everything else. Are you a bit more chilled these days, and do you protect your voice more before you go out on stage?
Yeah, definitely. Those drinking days on tour, they are not totally gone, but they are gone in that sense that those parties. Well, it was fun when you were 28 or something, but
yeah, catches up with you, man.
Yeah, exactly. Now you one recovers more slowly, so and you have to be professional. We never drink we might drink one or two beers before the show, but never if some partying happens, it's always after the show, of course. But nowadays it's definitely more rare. And that's just sensible because, we're there to do a job and entertain people, and people deserve to have, they pay money to come watch us play live. So we have to be in that kind of condition that we can offer them the experience they deserve for attending to the show.
Absolutely. So you signed with Century Media. What formats is the album going to come out on? And do you plan, or is there plans to have a release party?
Well, we have this kind of like metal cruise, Helsinki metal cruise, coming at the same day that the album is released, which is 7th of November. So that's gonna be kind of like a release party for that album, but nothing like major in that sense, like a big happenings. We are basically going on a tour like 15th of November to tour North America. So that's gonna be a way to celebrate the new album, of course,
Yeah,
to do what we love and to be able to play these songs live. It's gonna be a release vinyl, of course. There's going to be a classic CD, and it's of course all the platforms,
hmm,
digital platforms. I don't
cool.
know, there are many, but obviously Spotify, etc.,
Yeah,
and those platforms. But it's going to be like vinyl. There's going to be at least 3 different colors,
cool.
4. So for the vinyl enthusiasts and people who enjoy to have the actual record and not
Mm,
just digital space,
absolutely.
yeah, space thingy. So that's gonna be good for those people who enjoy to purchase, because we, like in metal music, I've noticed that people really still buy the actual like concrete product,
Of
which is
course.
kind of cool in these days when
Mm.
everything is online and digital.
But it's the album artwork, isn't it, and everything that goes with it. I think it's like part of it. Yeah, and with yourself, have you and do you keep your albums and then do you have them framed on your wall around your home?
I have a couple of our albums, but they are not framed. They are. I have this kind of like this place which has some things that I've got from fans from around the world. Like this, like a uh, action figurine that was made like in China
Right.
back 10 years ago, and this kind of like a drawing from Japan and stuff like that. So I have a couple of albums there, but it's nothing fancy. It's just like a little corner
Mm.
of nice memories.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I do too, man. Okay, so like you mentioned
I
China.
see you have some cool stuff behind you there.
Yeah, yeah,
Amorphis, drum skin and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah.
Nice, nice.
Thank you. So yeah, you've mentioned China a couple of times. So what was that like to play? I mean, was it uniformed or was it like with a crowd going wild or were they having to stand in a straight line?
I think like the in the actual show the crowd went pretty wild. They had
Right.
mosh pits and stuff like like we do,
Yeah.
but still uh, in China there is a certain level of behaving in a certain way. At
Yeah.
least when it was like the first time we went there was back in 2013, and it's changed a little bit during these years,
Mm.
but still it's not so different from a Western place to play. But there's a vibe in the atmosphere, if you catch my drift, in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
They are cool and nice people, and politics are politics. I don't care about that. And metal, I don't care where metal people are from. We are
Mm.
all a big family, in my
Of
opinion.
course. Of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So you've said like you're going to North America. Are the plans then to get into the UK for a tour next year, I'm guessing?
yeah. We're gonna play. We're gonna do a show in London. We're having a European tour starting in February,
Hmm.
and one of the places, of course, is gonna be London. I don't remember exactly which venue, but the shows in London are usually they're just awesome. So I really don't care which venue is it.
Cool.
I care
Cool.
about the people who's coming to see the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Tori brings like wild stories and that. What's the one experience that's etched into your memory forever?
Well, the very first time we played Japan, that was also back in 2013. We played actually 11 different cities. It's usually in Japan, you just play Tokyo, maybe Osaka,
Yeah.
and, and, and Nagoya, and that's it. but we played like 11 different cities, so we
Wow.
really got to see different places in Japan, and there was this band playing with us called Aggressive Dogs featuring Uzi One, and Uzi One was the singer and the primus motor of that group, and he actually was also a yakuza, which was kind of cool in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing weird. Hey, here's our boy.
Oh, hello. Oh, beautiful, beautiful face. Oh, oh, beautiful.
But yeah, and nothing like out of the ordinary actually happened on the tour. The guys were really nice, but there was this kind of like a chilling feeling to be aware that he's a part of this kind of organization.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the like those kind of stories that I still like remember super
Yeah.
vividly. Yeah.
So we mega careful then, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, of course. But just to make sure that everything goes smoothly.
So
We
cool.
were always stopping. It was weird because we were always stopping like every 20 minutes to gas station. He was always talking on the phone. Maybe he was calling his mother or something. I don't know. But
Maybe.
yeah. I think that had like an element of like uncertainness in a sense, but still it was really cool. They were nice guys, and we played some great shows with them. So, but it's a
Amazing.
nice story. Yeah.
Amazing. All right then. So outside of the metal sphere, then, which artists or genres have left a mark on your musical DNA growing up, even
So like in metal or in general,
outside metal, like yeah, general, like I don't know, say Buddy Holly, something like
I
that.
like I grew up in a house where like I could listen to metal music in my own room, but otherwise it was all classical music, like operas and
Right.
symphonic orchestras and stuff like that. So that has definitely given me something for sure.
Right.
But I also enjoy quality hip hop music, like
Yeah.
those kind of like those bands like old Cypress Hill and
Oh
and
yeah.
and yeah, maybe Wu-Tang Clan, maybe and also like funk music. I like Kool and the Gang and stuff like that. You
Really,
have to
do
have a appreciation.
of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Of
because
course.
it's really well played music.
Of course.
I like the Beatles a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, all those kind of like basically good music is good
You've got to be
music.
open-minded, haven't you? I think, but I think like with a lot of metal musicians I've spoken to, classical always comes into it because obviously there's the comparison there, isn't there? And it does sort of come in. And so, sort of
True.
going down the classical side of it, would you in the future, do you ever think the band would do like have a orchestral album or something, or doing a performance with
Uh,
them?
well, I really haven't thought about that much.
Right.
We haven't discussed it at all. It could be a possibility. It would be interesting, but mm, I would be open to it to
Yeah.
try that kind of thing. But it's not nothing like that. I would like we have to do this. This is
Oh
the one
no.
thing that we have to do. But if the opportunity arose at some point to make it like sensibly and make it like really well organized production, then
Mhm.
then I think it would be worth the trouble and worth the risk and worth the time. But yeah, we haven't actually discussed that kind of option, like maybe like in some sentence in somewhere in some conversation, but
Mhm.
that's basically the level of discussion we have had about this kind of opportunity or possibility.
And of course, Ozzy Osbourne passed not so long ago. Do you plan to do a feature or a song or something for him at any of your shows?
Would be really cool to do something like that. We haven't decided yet about the song, but that kind of, because well, he was a legend. He was
Yeah.
one of those bands that defined the whole metal genre basically.
Totally.
So it would be really really cool. We had a show in the summer, which was really a festival show, which was maybe in Czech Republic or somewhere, which was really close to the date when he passed, and we used the "See You on the Other Side" song as an outro for that show. So that was the first tribute that we made, but to play an actual song would be really cool. Or do something like to honor, for example, Lemmy, also to do a couple like a potpourri of like a couple of songs and blend them together, that kind of like would be really nice to play like maybe 3 minutes of Black Sabbath or Ozzy's solo song and then change to a Motorhead song would be really nice. Let's see, not a bad idea at all. I think people are really, really enthusiastic and to hear those and to see those kind of tributes.
I could see you doing "Killed by Death" by Motorhead. That's one of my favorite Motorhead songs.
Yeah, it's a really cool song. I really can't. Is it the one with the videos what they're driving with those different kinds of driving a Harley Davidson?
That's right. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, that's a good, cool song.
Yeah. I can see that, and I don't know. I've always liked "No More Tears." I know it's a bit of a later Ozzy song in his time, but I've always loved that song. But I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. There's so many, isn't there? "Suicide Solution." There's so many. List goes on and on and on.
Yeah. There are a variety of good songs.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. So going back to the album, can you tell us why we should check out "May the Bridges We Burn Light the Way"?
Well, definitely because it's like I said before, it's something like going back, not basically to the beginning of OG, but it has so many elements that that I have discovered that people appreciate in our music, and they're like, I'm really proud of the songs that we have made this album. So if you like quality Finnish steel, then you definitely should check out. Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. It's one of my favorite. It's just a fucking amazing metal album, basically. Also, Peace Sells, But Who's Buying?
Megadeth.
Really, 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 really good album. And then Dead Heart in a Dead World by Nevermore.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's a different one. No one said that one before. That's a good one. All right. So if you could be in a room with 3 musicians, dead or alive, to have a jam session, who would be with you?
Well, obviously, Ozzy would be one.
Yeah.
Then maybe let's take this up a notch. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart would be another one.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe have a little bit of a language barrier there.
He was metal in the day, wasn't he?
Indeed. And then this is a hard one. Who would be the third one? Maybe James Hetfield. He's cool.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Amount of time he gets mentioned as well. All right. So, forgetting musical equipment, what are the 3 essentials to take on a tour, especially when you go to North America? Which are the 3 must-haves with you?
Well, a lot of like clothes you have to change because if you go to North America, there can be a shower, but maybe there's not a shower. So and also something to entertain yourself, like if you have a Nintendo Switch or something like that.
Yeah.
If you're not into drinking so much, that's a good pastime,
Yeah.
of course. And well, a proper attitude would be the third, because you're
Cool.
going there and you're gonna be there for 4 to 6 weeks, and and the distances like between cities are long. So
Massive, mate. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So you have to
Yeah.
have a proper attitude to be able to handle all that.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
So are there three countries that you've never been to yet that you'd like to tour? Or have you been everywhere?
Well, not everywhere, but like Middle East is one of those places that we've only been to Dubai.
Right.
So it would be really, really interesting to check out the metal genre over there.
Hmm.
Also India would be cool.
Yeah.
Really, really, really different.
Yeah.
And mm, well, some parts of Africa maybe. That's also a continent we've never been to. And there is a metal community there in many countries. It
Hmm.
might be really, really like underground, but still it's there. So
Of course. Of
it would be
course.
cool to play some metal for those people.
Cool. So if there was a made up song about your personality, what would its title be?
Mm. Uh, Go around the corner to discover something more.
Okay, cool. So do you prefer vinyl or digital to play it live? Play?
Vinyl, definitely. Yeah, yeah. I listen to a lot of like like music online, but still, if I have to choose, for instance, the sound is different. So,
Definitely.
so yeah.
Yeah. All right. So do you prefer a festival or a small intimate sweat-soaked gig? Obviously, a band your size is festivals more and big massive venues, isn't it? But would you like to go back to a smaller gig rather than a festival?
I love club shows. So
Yeah.
definitely, I would prefer a club show. There's always a sense of urgency in festivals, which they're always so busy.
Mm,
Everything happens like this before the show, and uh, I don't like it so much.
no,
It gets really stressful. Of course,
of
you
course.
have to do it, and that's the way of the game. But still, if I had to choose, definitely a club.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's one lyric from your career that you'd want carved into your gravestone?
Does it have to be mine?
No, it doesn't have to be yours. No.
Okay, so then okay, this is it's not. This is actually my girlfriend came up with this, and it's one of the old like 90s Mel Brooks film, which was starring Leslie Nielsen, which was about Count Dracula, but it was Dead and Loving It.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
like I would
Love
like
it.
to have that on the gravestone.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, of course. All right. If you could send one song into space from your band to represent the band, which one would it be and why?
Mm, I would say definitely send something from the Redshift album, because that album really defined uh, our band's future in that sense. It was the back in 2008, which was the time when we really started to tour like
Mm,
outside Finland too. So it would be maybe uh, from that album, but which song? Maybe Distant Light Highway.
excellent. Right. For a 24-hour road trip, which musician's going to be in the car with you?
Hmm. Well, I would take Dave Mustaine, because he's a that kind of, you always hear stories about that he's a really good guy or he's not a really good guy. So I would have the chance to decide for myself if he is a good guy or not. That would be one, and it would be cool to have Mace Gray also
Okay.
to take a road trip to widen the perspective in that sense. and to bring whole different genre into the mix. And let's say could be also some dude or dudette from classical world, but I don't know these people so well
All
that I
right.
could name
Okay.
specific to it, but that kind of combo would be at least interesting.
Cool. And the final one then, actually from Finland. Do you prefer Lapland or lap dance? I hope your girlfriend's not
Lap
there.
dance, of course. Nothing wrong with Lapland, but it's a different story altogether.
Of course, man. Of course. Well, I congratulate you on the recent singles that you put out and look forward to the album. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
Well, check out the new songs and the new album when it comes out, and see you on the road.